Hey guys, it's Donna from Donna's Corn Free Cooking, and as I told you the other day, I'm doing a lot of videos this week, and I am going to make my butterscotch pie, but it'll probably be later today or maybe Friday. But today what I want to share with you is freezer slaw. I've already got my cabbage cut. I've got another head out here in case this isn't enough for what I want. And I'm using, instead of carrots, because of my carrot allergy, I'm using a sweet potato grated up in it and minced bell pepper. Now, this is an old recipe that I've had for 33 years, and it's a very easy recipe to do. Basically, it's grating all your vegetables, then making up your vinegar dressing and pouring that over it as it's still warm, and then packaging it and putting it in the freezer. Now, I have told you before that most all plastic products are made with xanthan gum in it, which is made from corn. Now, I can use plastic containers for the freezer, and nothing seeps into the food because there's no heat. Now, the containers say they are microwave safe. I would never eat anything that was microwaved in a plastic container, mainly for the reason that generally if you use a container in the microwave that's plastic, what will happen is most people do not use a lower power setting. They just do it on high. But when you do it on high, the container starts getting soft and it gets very hot, and you could actually taste it in the food. So it seeps into your food. So my rule of thumb is if I take something out of the freezer, instead of throwing that container in a microwave, I get the food out of the container into another glass dish, and then I defrost it or heat it. But with the freezer slaw, all you have to do is once it's frozen, you just take it out, set it on counter and let it thaw, and then you can put it into a bowl in case you're worried that something might seep into it if the bowl got too warm. But I don't think that would happen. So what I've done here, I've got everything ready to grate. I'm going to get that process done and then I'll come back. Hey guys, I'm back, and as you can see, I've got my containers all washed and sterilized, ready to put my slaw in. And as you can see, I've got this beautiful bowl of shredded cabbage, bell pepper, and take that little thing out, and grated sweet potato. Now, if you're not allergic to carrots, by all means use the carrots. So I've had 1 tablespoon of salt, canning salt in it, and I put it in the refrigerator for 1 hour. Now, my original recipe, which I'm trying to see where it went, which you can see I've used this thing a lot. It is just worn to death. I need to rewrite it on another recipe card. But according to it, what you need to do, once you've shredded and grated everything, it says to put 2 trays of ice in and your tablespoon of salt, and then put it in the refrigerator for 1 hour. And then afterwards, when you're ready to freeze it, you drain it. Then you add your dressing. Now, as you can see, I've got 2 quart jars that I poured dressing into, and it's a simple recipe. It's 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. Never use white vinegar as it's made from corn. 4 cups of pure cane sugar, 2 teaspoons of celery salt, or celery seed, excuse me, 1 cup of water, and 1 tablespoon of mustard seed. And the mustard seed is, if you want it in there, you can put it in or you can leave it out. So you mix that together in a medium saucepan, bring it to a boil, and boil it for 5 minutes. Then remove it from the heat. I removed it from the heat, let it sit for about an hour, and then I went back and put it in these jars and put it in the refrigerator so it could cool down quicker. Now it's still just barely warm, which is perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it in, and I'm going to check to see exactly how much of this I'm going to need, because I may not need it all depending on how much cabbage I've got in here. And I don't want to drown it, but I don't want it to be dry. So I'm mixing that in, and I think just the one's going to work. And what I can do with this one is I can put a seal on it and process it in a water bath, and it'll can it, and then I'll have it in the cupboard whenever I need it. And I think just the one was perfect. So I've got that all mixed in. I'm going to take some of this mustard seed out of here, because I don't think very much of it got into that jar. And there's quite a bit in this one. Oh, and then my under cabinet light just went out. Let me adjust that so I can get it to come back on. Oh dear. Why it went off, I don't know. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's all mixed in. And I'm going to lay that down, and I'm going to use just a big spoon and ladle it in. And like I said, this is perfect because when you freeze it, it's made ahead. So for any time you want to use it, you've got it. And then you don't have to sit and fuss with the big mess that grating cabbage and carrots and peppers, and in my case, sweet potatoes, makes. I had to clean up the kitchen before I could go to this stage. So it's just part of the course. When you're canning or freezing, you're always going to have a mess. Okay, so this is going in there really well. And I think I'm just going to get 3 containers, and that was 2.5 heads of cabbage that I grated, and 2/3 of a small sweet potato and 1 bell pepper, and that's what I use. The more you want to make, the better. Because when you do it all at once like this, then you don't have to worry about doing it again for quite a while. It seems like I'm underestimating everything I'm doing. Yesterday I did unsweetened applesauce, and I thought I was going to get at least 5 pints, maybe just a tiny bit more, but that didn't happen. So today I was hoping to get at least 6, but I've gotten 4 or 3, almost 4. So that'll be perfect. And what I will do next is get the edges cleaned, put my seals on, and put a date on it. And then I will stick it in my freezer, and I'll have it whenever we want it this winter. So until next time, guys, I'm going to be doing the butterscotch pie this week. It'll probably be on Friday due to the fact I have to have a procedure done tomorrow. So until then, we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.